Hi everyone! Kipling and I just wanted to tell you a really funny story before we start tonight. Well, it is funny, but it's quite sweet as well. I was talking to someone today who said to me, "Do you know what, Sam? I think you are actually like Mrs Doubtfire." I thought it was really funny, but I was also quite flattered as well because it was one of my favourite films. Although I have to say that I haven't set my boobs on fire lately. Anyway, I just thought it was quite funny and I thought I'd share that with you. So, we're going to start with our very first one, and Mr Kipling is going to do what he normally does, and that's go and settle himself down somewhere. So, here we go. Hi. So, my parents know I'm gay. I didn't tell them, they sort of figured it out, and my dad seems cool with it all. But my mum refuses to accept the fact that I am gay. And it keeps telling herself that I'm going through a phase and that it's all part of growing up. How do I convince her otherwise without causing any tension between us? The problem with this is that sometimes some people really do think this is a phase and that you'll get over it and that somehow you will suddenly become straight. You won't. You are born who you're born. And some people find that really hard to accept. Now, in my experience, and I say this is my experience, it may not be everybody else's experience, but it's definitely mine. It tends to come from people's deep beliefs, things that they are, when they're growing up, it might be something within their family that, they've always believed that it was wrong or that it could be cured. That's another one. It cannot be cured. If you are gay, you are gay. The same as I'm straight, I'm straight. And nothing will change that. Unfortunately, the person who needs to work on this is actually your mum and not you. You seem to have accepted it. Dad definitely seems to have accepted it, and that is absolutely wonderful. And I'm glad that Dad has done that, and I'm hoping over time that he will help Mum also accept it. If you start to have doubts, what can tend to happen, unfortunately, is that you put doubt in other people's heads. So if you know you are definitely gay, then be out there and proud with it. Don't hide it. Don't think you have to hide it. If you do that, if you hide it and start playing on all the doubts that everybody else is projecting at you, particularly mum at the moment, then what can happen is you start to put doubts in their mind. If you put doubts into people's heads because you're doubting it, then automatically they're going to think it is a phase. So really think hard about that. Do you at times say things that you think other people want to hear? This happens so much when we want someone to love us and be proud of us that we have a tendency to say exactly what they want to hear rather than the truth. The truth is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. But ultimately, it also means that you can be genuine and they can eventually be genuine with you. It might be that unfortunately mum's very strong beliefs are going to take a little bit of getting over and that she needs to go and reassess how she feels about this. Now, just because you've always known that you are gay, mum didn't. And it might have been a big shock. It might also mean that she's left with feelings of, oh my goodness, I might not have grandchildren. Life for my child is not going to be what I expected it to be. So, to a certain degree, there may be an element of grief going on here for mum. Mum needs to get through that and will get through that, but you must give her time. Try not to be angry. Just because somebody can't always see our point of view and can't always accept us for what we are does not mean they don't love us. It means at that point in time they can't see it. And so, therefore, it's easier if you can accept you. Accept you. And eventually people will accept you. I think it's really interesting that you want to convince mum that you're doing the right thing. I don't think it's actually up to you to convince mum at all. I don't think you can convince mum right now. Let mum go through this process and she will come through the other end. Hopefully a lot happier, a lot more understanding, and your relationship with each other won't be beyond repair. I just pray that she won't push you too far. Turn to Dad, because Dad obviously totally understands where you're coming from. And he may understand Mum as well. He might realise if you talk to him, he might be able to tell you why Mum feels the way she does. It might throw some light. What also happens, I'm afraid, in these situations is that shame is played out in the relationship. So whereas before you told your family, it might have been a lot more natural relationship, but because you feel ashamed, you're not so natural with Mum and Dad now either. So there tends to be a little bit of assumptions going on. So the assumption is Mum hates me because I'm gay. Mum doesn't love me because I'm gay. Now I can't be who I want to be and I'm not loved anymore because I'm gay. But it might actually be that the tension between you all is caused by assumptions. It might be Mum says, well, if we don't talk about it, then it won't upset anyone. Mums are great for that. Don't talk about it, it won't upset anyone. That actually causes a lot of problems because, again, the assumption is, won't talk about it, doesn't want to talk about it, hates me for it, doesn't love me anymore. But Mum might actually be thinking something completely different. I'm not quite sure because obviously I don't know what is going on with Mum at the moment. But what I can tell you is you cannot convince her by just saying, I am gay. Mum needs to go through the process of a little bit of bereavement because there's loss there. You're not going to do the things that she was hoping you were going to do. But also Mum has to accept something that a lot of mums have to accept, is this is when we have children, they have their own life path. It's not ours. They must do what they have to do on their life path, like we did. I have a different set of parents to that of my mother. My life path is different to that of my mother's. Therefore, my mother has allowed me to have the life path I'm meant to have. It's exactly the same with you. Your life path is different to that of your parents. Dad has accepted that. Mum is struggling. She may be an overprotective mum. What can also happen is the confusion between love and attachment. All parents love their children. All parents love their children. But the attachment to all their children can be very different and quite unique. So therefore, if the attachment is different, her attachment to you may now have to readjust so that she can attach to you, but in a slightly different way now. Please don't feel ashamed. The shame and guilt that you feel for being gay shouldn't be there. You don't have anything to feel embarrassed about, ashamed about, or guilty about. You are who you are. You were born that way, and nothing is going to change that. I would also like to stress as well, I've worked with so many youngsters who have known from a very young age that they are gay. Literally, I can't tell you how many I've worked with that knew from quite young, sort of 9, 10, maybe even younger, that they liked the same sex, not the opposite sex. But none of them have changed their mind, and none of them can. As one youngster said to me, I can't get out of this body. I like boys. I like boys. There's nothing I can do about that. And he was absolutely right. But as he said, so many people said it was a phase, it was a phase, it was going to end, and it never did end. And he is now living the life that he's meant to be living, and he's out there. Mum had some problems with it to start off with, but Mum has come round and he's actually going shopping with him and enjoying all those things that, as he said to me, having a gay son does. And she really, really enjoys being with him now. So give it time, be patient. I know once you came out, you would love for people to just say, right, okay, you're out, we're all right. You knew you were gay sometimes, so your process of understanding and accepting it had happened a long, long time ago. Mum didn't, so this is taking her that much longer. Give her some time. Please give her some time and let me know how you get on. And remember, be proud, be out there, and enjoy being you. And don't ever, ever feel ashamed. There's no need to. Take care. Thank you very much, everyone. Kipling and I have decided I'm going to have a cup of tea, and Mr Kipling is actually off to sleep. He's had a busy day today, haven't you? He's actually been at the Countrywide today, saying hello to new people, which was quite exciting, and he did growl at a couple of dogs today as well. I think he was feeling a bit protective, but he loves the kids and he loves every human being as well. A bit of a softie, this little boy is. Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.